so today we are doing essentially a Q&A of our cash lifestyle. So, yeah.
Levi's playing Jungle Gym with the
Oh
camera
my
equipment.
goodness, that was crazy.
That was pretty impressive, Levi.
Good job, buddy.
Can you plot to now? So I have your guys' questions right here, and at the end we'll kind of talk about how we got this mindset, I guess you could say. So the first question comes from Chris Carlson, and he said, what made you decide to be debt-free? And I thought this was a little different of how we got the mindset. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. I think everyone wants to be debt-free. I don't really know many people that said, yeah, I want $100,000 in debt, that'd be awesome.
But we do know a lot of people that do have that.
Yes, and I don't think that's ever anything when people enter adulthood that's something that they want. So we just decided that it was something we weren't ever gonna have. We weren't gonna just accept that that was the way things were. So we just decided not to.
The next question is from the quote enthusiast. He said, will your no debt mindset apply to buying a car and buying a house? Yes and no.
Which I thought about something which Ryan may not have thought about yet, I'm not sure.
What's that?
Well, with the house at least. With the car, we want to be able to pay cash. At the very least, we will be putting a very large down payment and a very minimal financing. Yeah. So extremely minuscule. So it wouldn't be like, you know, you put $2,000 on a car and you pay for the rest via financing. It'd be like the opposite, like 2,000's financed.
Yeah.
So if anything, that's what will happen, but we plan to want to pay cash, but obviously we are actually in need of a car by the time baby comes. So if we can't, then we will finance what we have not been able to save up, basically. And then for the house, what I was talking about, we don't want to stay in Illinois the rest of our lives, but we plan to at least be here 5 more years. So buying a house makes sense for us. We are definitely ready to buy a house. I'm done renting, I just don't like it. I'm a very want to do projects kind of person, and obviously when you're renting a home you can't do that because it's somebody else's. So because we're going to be here for at least 5 years, we plan to buy a house here, and that one will be financed. But when we move to hopefully the west somewhere, I was thinking that we will probably pay cash for that house, the house that we build and decide to just settle down in permanently. So
the next question is basically, a lot of people have asked it, so it's like everyone. Is, don't you need credit to buy a house? We don't have any credit cards, as you know, so we don't technically have credit, but through my job, I have credit card at work, which kind of goes on to, or counts towards my credit, should I say.
Yeah, and that's how we got this apartment, because you have to have a good, we didn't have any renter's history, and you have to have good credit in order to rent, especially if you don't have renter's history. Yeah. And we were able to get the apartment because he had credit from his card at work, which I guess is not normal, but for his card that he does, and it counts toward his credit. So that has been helpful. After reading some of the comments about you guys mentioning that, I decided to do some research on if you really did need credit to get a house. And the truth of the matter fact is that actually credit is only part of getting the loan for the house, especially if you make a significant amount over what you're applying for. And then the other part is that I actually found out that you can get your rent added to your credit history through like certain businesses, like special credit businesses, I guess you could say. So that is also an option as well if the credit from his work is not enough. So there are ways to get around it, you just have to find them. Lauren Elizabeth Ryan asks us, do you guys use a debit card? And yes, we do. Yes. There's a question later on about how we use that and make sure we don't overdraft and that we don't spend too much, and so I'll answer that when we get to it, but yes, we do use debit cards. Britta Gabriel asks, what are some ways you save money? Do you use coupons or online shopping, and how do you find good deals? I think this is kind of I guess a common misconception with people when they think that people live a cash lifestyle, that we do everything possible to like spend the least amount of money, which is true. I mean, we shop at several different grocery places sometimes, and I do look for online codes for someplace before I buy something. If it's like something special that I need to buy and it's not normal, like for a gift or something, I'll always look for a coupon code for that company. But we don't regularly do it. I don't get coupons in the mail and stuff like that. I just budget, you know, what we're going to spend grocery-wise, what we're going to spend toiletries-wise, and that's what we spend. And if we go over, then we don't get any more. Then we go have dinner at Ryan's parents'.
Pretty much. Along those lines, if it gets close to the end of the month and we're out of money, we are basically scraping to try and get what we need to get.
Yeah, and thankfully, because of the way we budget and have things taken out, at the end of the month we aren't really in need of anything.
Yeah.
Even if we don't have a ton of money in our account, we're perfectly fine because we purchase groceries at the beginning of when he gets paid and stuff like that. So it's not really an issue at the end of the month running out of things because everything is portioned out in the 2 halves of the month.
Pretty much.
To make sure, yeah, that doesn't happen.
Next question is from Katie Brendan, and she asked, what do we do to save? So currently we've kind of put savings on a hold because we've got some other things we need to take care of. But as soon as that gets taken care of, we're going to be saving, adding to our savings as we were before.
So for each check, basically, if you are worried about spending the money you need to save, what we did before when we were saving consistently is we had an automatic takeout right after you got paid. So basically it's out of your account, meaning you can't spend it. So you have no option basically. It automatically gets taken out probably the day after you get paid in case there's like issues with weekends and stuff like that. So you make sure it's in your account, obviously. And then it gets automatically taken out and then there's no way you can spend it. So we do that definitely to make sure that it gets put away. And then obviously we do our budget out, and whatever's left, that's how much you put in savings. So whether it's $62 or it's $602, that's what goes into your savings. In your budget, you should include like extra money for yourselves for like entertainment and things like that. A lot of people think that when they do a budget, what's left is what they have left for spending money, and that should be included in your budget, and then what you have left for after you allot yourself that money, that's what goes into savings. So I think a lot of people forget that, and they just think, oh, $602 is left, I can spend $602, go to the movies, do this, do that. But that's not right. You need to allot yourself a specific amount, and then what is left, that's what goes into savings. So as soon as we're done taking care of the few things that we have right now, then we will go back to that method. It's pretty simple. The best way to make sure you don't spend money is to take it out right away so it's not even there.
Then you can't see it, you can't spend it, you can't do anything with it.
And specifically for Ryan, he has a special savings account with his mom, which he doesn't even have access to, and the reason we left it with her is because it has a very high, is it still called an interest rate?
Yeah.
It has a very high interest rate, and so we decided to stick with her, and it's best sometimes to have a savings account if you're really bad at savings that you don't have access to. So anytime we wanted to ask for money, she'd be like, well, what are you getting? And if it wasn't something we really wanted, then we wouldn't tell her because obviously she would be, the judging eyes, the mom judging eyes would be happening. So that's also an option if you know like putting in a savings account isn't gonna stop you, because I know at least for regular accounts like Chase, you can just move it.
Yeah, and there was a time that when we first got our accounts at Chase, we had a checking and a savings account.
Yeah.
We would put money in the savings account, but when it came time that we needed some of that money, I would just transfer it to the checking and we'd spend it, which we shouldn't have been, but...
And we didn't really need to.
Yeah.
So that is really a good option if you have that online system. You can just easily send it over to your checking account so you can spend it, is to put a savings with someone else that has access to it and you don't. Obviously someone you trust.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And yeah, that I definitely would recommend if you have a hard time, put someone else in charge of it.
Yep, creates that accountability.
The next question is from Lauren and Kyle Hampton, and I believe it's her that's typing this, I'm not 100% sure, but they asked, have you heard of the envelope system? And this she's referring to, I think Dave Ramsey, because he's the one that talks about it, I think, the most. Yeah. The one that people know about. And basically it just means that You have envelopes for certain things, like you have your utility, like your bills, and then you have entertainment, and you have food, and then when you run out, and that's the end of it. Yep. So those people usually don't have debit cards. They go to, what's it called? They go to the bank, they pull out the money that they need for that month, put it in the envelope. When it's gone in the envelope, they're done. That's it. So obviously, yes, we do know the envelope system, but we do not personally use it. And the next question will explain why we don't use that. And we do, we have discussed though, moving to envelope system for specific things. But the reason right now that we aren't is because of the next question.
She also said, my fiance and I struggle with debit cards due to overdrafting, so we use the envelope system. Have you had trouble with overdrafting using debit?
And we don't, because of something Ryan does every time we spend money.
Well, it's kind of twofold.
Yeah.
With our bank account, it won't let us overdraft, which is definitely nice.
I don't know if every place does, but
yeah.
Chase for sure does. You can have it set up so that if you don't have the money in your account, it will deny it. And that's even for gas pumps. And for gas pumps, it denies it like a few dollars before.
Yeah. But also, I have an app on my phone that I use every time I make a purchase. I go ahead and put that in my app anytime I get paid. It basically keeps track of all of our money, and so I can just open that app and see, okay, we have this much money in the account right now. And I can even go through and see where have we spent money, and kind of see, gives like pie charts and different charts that you can look at as to where you're spending your money at, which is really nice. I really like that app.
Yep. And part of that is that he puts in that app no matter where he gets the money. So it's not just the money we get from the job, it's if we get gifts that are cash, if we get any sort of money that's not on like a gift card, then it goes straight onto his app, right? You don't do gift cards.
No.
Yeah, so it's just anything. And so if you take out cash, do you put it in there, or you still leave it until you spend it?
It just, if I take out cash from my bank account, I don't touch the app, because then I still have the same amount of money until I spend cash. Then I'll go ahead and put that in there as well.
Yeah, and doing that makes you a lot more understanding of where your money is going, because as opposed to a debit card, the issue with people spending so much is because it's just a swipe, you don't see what you're spending. But when you're putting it in an app every single time, you're typing in what you're spending, and you start noticing how many trips you've made to fast food place, how many times you've stopped at a gas station for a few pops. You notice it all, and then you stop, because you're like, wow, this is an issue. I've done this 3 times today. So definitely writing it down helps. And Ryan got an actual app, which is Pocket Expense, and there's a free version, but he said that you upgraded.
Yeah. So,
and that the upgraded one, so you have all the stuff, is $5. And we use it every single day, so it was worth it.
Yes, it was.
And Ryan has access to that. Oh, we probably should mention how we don't spend money with me, and I'm perfectly fine mentioning this. So the biggest way that you make sure you don't overspend money, in our opinions, is making sure that you don't put the money in the hands of the person that spends it the most. So you want to put it with the partner that is very frugal, which is Ryan. And I am so bad with money that I actually don't have access to the money at all, ever. I have a debit card, and it has nothing on it. And if I want something, I have to tell Ryan, because, and I'm perfectly fine mentioning this, but in my mind, buying things, like, I think certain things are worth buying that really I don't need. And so if I want something, I have to ask him. And we've gotten weird remarks about this before in the past, about how the fact that I don't have access to our money and it doesn't bother me. It's helped us save money because I have issues with spending. And so if I want something and he thinks that it's okay and it's something that I should buy, then he'll put the money on my card and I can get it. And that's the extent of me having access to money. And it's not a big deal for us either, because when we buy everything, we buy it together. I think obviously when we have kids, that may need to change, because I will have to go out and do things on my own sometimes and pick up things. But I still won't have access to the full account, I don't think. It will probably just be a certain amount, and even then it wouldn't be a big deal if I didn't have full access, because with the lovely Chase app, you can just quickly put money over and it happens right away. So if I need to go out, I can tell him and he'll just put money on.
Yep.
Yep.
Works nice.
So that's a good way to make sure that you guys aren't overspending, is making sure that the person who spends all the money doesn't have access to the account. And trust me, I know for you that likes to spend money, it can be a little, what's the word?
Frustrating.
Not frustrating, kind of belittling, I guess, sometimes when you tell people that, because you almost feel like you can't handle money. And to me, it doesn't anymore. I can't handle money. Big deal. I'm really bad with it. And that's why I have this awesome husband right next to me. And it really doesn't bug me. I don't feel like I need to have access to our money at all times. Because like I said, if there's something I really need, he's gonna know if I'll need it, and he'll give me the money. So it's not a big deal.
Now you may be wondering how we learned this information and how we took the principles and applied it in our lives. I have seen a few comments about Dave Ramsey.
And the Duggars, that was funny. I've never even watched the Duggars.
I didn't see that one.
It was on Facebook? I think it was on Facebook, then you might have not seen it.
Oh.
I forgot who it was, but he asked if we got it from the Duggars because they live a cash-only lifestyle, I guess, and I didn't even know that, but that's awesome because they have 19 kids, so that shows you anything is possible with cash lifestyles.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I've actually never even watched the Duggars, so no.
They're fun. I've watched them a few times.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I've never seen them. I know they have good principles and stuff, though.
So, we have taken a Dave Ramsey class. That was like right after we got engaged, so that was 4 years ago.
I don't remember anything but the envelope system.
Yeah. At that point, we paid attention. Yeah. But not necessarily
really
so
cared.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, we were only 17. We were just kind of like, oh yeah, we're doing whatever.
I mean, he's definitely got good principles, and I've seen a lot of people have success with that. So what we have used to take in the principles and apply them is something called Financial Fitness Pack.
Oh, make sure it was blinding with the lights. This is the beauty.
So basically goes through how to increase your money, whether it's through savings, business ownership, or anything like that. It also goes through defense, which is basically how to hold on to your money instead of spending it and basically
frivolously.
Yes, that word.
Frivolously?
Yes, that one. Spending it frivolously.
Frivolously?
Yes. And anything like that. And that also actually goes into basically economics in the United States and essentially throughout the world and how it works and how that can play into the money that you basically have hold of. It's really good. It touches on a lot of different topics, but has so many good principles that you can take and apply into your life. And I know a lot of people personally that have used the information that are completely debt-free, that were hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And so it truly is amazing.
So with the Financial Fitness Pack, it is $100, and there is a book that you can read, obviously, and then there is a workbook that comes with it, and there is a CD pack with 8 CDs, and currently right now I don't have that because I think it's in our car, which is a good thing because it means it's getting listened to. So currently right now I can't show you that, guys, but there are 8 CDs in it, and they are by no means boring.
So if you guys are interested in the information that we've used, you can get that on our website, which the link will be in the description box below.
So that is going to be it for this video. If you guys have any more questions and we get enough of them, then we of course will do another video for you guys. And if we get enough on a certain topic, then maybe we will discuss it. I do want to let you guys know that we are by no means perfect money people and we aren't professionals. So obviously what's in this is really what is gotten in our mindset, and we could try and verbalize and reiterate for you guys, we could try and verbalize what we learned, but the only way to make sure that you guys actually get the same thing that we do is obviously listening to the same information. Yeah. Just because it's like a game of telephone.
We can tell you, you can tell somebody else, you can tell somebody else, and then it's not good information then. It's watered down and it's not as hard-hitting, I guess, is the way to say it.
Yeah, so we definitely are not professionals in any way. We don't have a career in finances. We're just two normal people that live a cash lifestyle. And
that have applied the information to be able to do so.
Yep, and this is what's helped us. So if you guys want to get it, like he said, you can go to the link below. And I think that's it. Make sure you leave your questions below. And like the video.
Yeah, hit that thumbs
Ryan's
up.
always got to say like that video.
Thumbs up, man.
And if you're new, welcome to the Pflederer fam.
As always, we love you guys. We appreciate all the support you give us. And we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.